Hello guys, my name is Khan, and in today's video I will show you guys that how you can order columns in Tableau, and then how you can sort data in Tableau, and then I will also discuss that how you can create hierarchies in your plots or in your tables in Tableau. So for this video, before going towards Tableau, I will be using these two datasets. So this dataset is very much the same dataset that I was using before too. So if I open it up, so you can see these are the variables. So it's about census, US census data. So the country is only US, whereas we have each rows for each state. And then we have some variable like region, population, marriage. It's a demographic data that we are considering in this dataset. I will close this window. Whereas my second dataset, it's kind of a very small dataset. So suppose there is in my previous dataset there was a variable population, but suppose the population numbers have gone through and I have some updated numbers of population for each state. So you can see that in this dataset, the state variable is common between both my previous data file and this data file. So I will close it down too. So I will go to Tableau now. So this is the shortcut for in my desktop for Tableau. I will click it. So both of my datasets are in Excel. So I will export Excel. So I will import this dataset. Open. So as you can see, this is the dataset. But suppose if you want to, so here you can see that the order based on which these variables are imported into Tableau is the same as the order which I have in my Excel file. So if I open it up, you can see that the first variable is country. Therefore, even in Tableau, the first variable is country, then state 2. But suppose if you want to change the order, you can do it very easily. So if you look at here, there is an option sort field. What sort field is do, it will just reorder the variable names. It will not change the order of your observation. Again, this sort field will just change the order of your columns, not change the order of your observation. So if you look at here, there is a sort field option here. If I click this down arrow button, it's saying A to Z. It's mean that arrange my column based on A to Z. So any column which will be starting from A will be shown me first. So if I do it, select it A to Z, you can see in my variable the C, then D, then again D, and then M. So it's more like alphabetically arranged now. And in the same way, then Z to A. So now the first variable is year, then status 2. The other thing, before going further, but you will be able to see under the sort field that there are two other options, that A to Z descending per table and Z to A descending per table. When you will be having more than two tables, then you can use those options too. I will show you guys just in a few seconds. So what I will do, I will import my new dataset, which is the second dataset, as I have shown you guys this dataset. So if I go to this option, connections, add, and I will say Microsoft Excel. Now I will select the second dataset. I have already imported this first dataset into Tableau. Now I'm going to import my second dataset. Open. As you can see that automatically what Tableau have done is that Tableau have see that both of these dataset, there is a connection. If you look at here, and if I click it, you can see that this connection is based on the state. The state variable is coming from my version 1, whereas this state variable is coming from this version 2. Both of these variables are common in my dataset, and there is a one-to-one connection here in between these two datasets. So, but suppose if Power BI unable to recognize this connection automatically, suppose if I remove it, you can see that I only have one dataset, version 1 dataset. So in order to create a connection, what you can do, so if I select version 2 in this sheet, under this there is a sheet, second sheet, which is coming from this dataset. So I will just drag it to here, and it will automatically create a connection. And again, the connection is between these two datasets based on the state variable, and it's a one-to-one connection. One-to-one connection means that for one observation, for one state in version 1 of my data, there is one observation in version 2. There can be a different kind of connections, one-to-many or many-to-one, based on the type of the data you have. But in this example, I have one-to-one connection between my dataset. And now if I look at my variable, you can see in the end, so here you can able to see I have a state variable which is coming, as you can here you can see this coming from US Census version 2, and then I also have another variable, updated population, which is coming from also US version 2. All other variables are coming from the version 1 of my data set. So now suppose I can use the other sort field option, where it is saying that A to Z ascending per table. If I click that, you can see that now the country date, what it will do, this option will do, it will sort each table separately. So you can see now that I have country, data, date, death, divorce, and then if I go back, so in the end I have version 2 datasets. Again, that dataset is also sorted in an ascending way, but you can see that S is not here under before or after state 2, because what Tableau have done, Tableau have sorted the version 1 dataset first and then sorted the second dataset separately. In the same way, you can also opt descending option per table, and you can see that now table 2 have sorted in a descending order first, then table 1. But it doesn't mean that if you are using two tables together, you can also opt A to Z ascending option here too. So in this way, you can order your columns in Tableau. Again, sorting fields is just reordering your columns. It's not sorting your data. In order to sort your data, so suppose if you want to see those observations first, in which we have the highest depth, if you look at the depth variable, there is this arrow, this button. If I click it, it will sort me. So it's now sorted into a descending order, lower depth, then higher, and keeps on increasing. And now I can sort them in descending order. So the highest then keeps on decreasing. In the same way, you can also sort other variable like marriage too. Even you can also sort based on string variables too, as you can see it here, the Alabama, Alaska, and then we have go to the W's, which are the states which are starting from W. So in this way, you can order your dataset and sort your dataset. The other thing that I would like to discuss in this video is that how you can create hierarchies in your in Tableau graphs or tables. So the first thing is, what does it hierarchy mean? So in order to discuss hierarchy, I will go to my sheet 1, and as you can see it here, what I will do, I will create, suppose if I want region variable, and after the region, so suppose I want to see the population in each region. So this is my population variable. Drag it to rows. So you can see that now it have telling me in north central, this is the population, north, east, south, west. But suppose if I want to see the states too, that what are the states within north central. In order to do that, one of the way of creating hierarchy is that I drag the state variable after the region variable, and now you can see here in my graph that north central have these states, northeast have these states, and south and then west have these states. So this is one of the way. You can also create a third hierarchy too. So suppose if I have also a categorical variable which is status variable, which is saying telling us the state that the state is poor or rich. You can also drag it here. So now you can see that within the north central I have these states, and then I have within these states are poor or rich. If that graph is not looking well, here there is a very good option that you can convert columns to rows and rows to columns very easily. So if I click it here, this overall logic remains same, but now you can see the graph is more presentable, that I have north central division, that I have state division, and then I have status division. So this is one of the way you can create a hierarchy, but there is a better way of creating a hierarchy. In order to discuss that way, I will create a sheet 2 and I will discuss there too. So what I will do in order to create a hierarchy, so what I will do here, I know that I want to create a hierarchy based on region, state and status. So what I will do, here is the state variable. I will select it and then I will drag it to my, so again, so here is my state variable. I will drag it to my region variable, and you can see it here. It's saying create a hierarchy. So the hierarchy is region state. I say okay. So now if you see under here, we have a new hierarchy, region state. But I also want to add my second variable, status 2, into this hierarchy status. So I will drag that variable, and here after state I will add that, because I want to create at the lowest in terms of hierarchy. So now it's become a bit very simple to add this in sheet 1. If you can see, I have added each variable one by one, but now it's become more simplistic. So now what I will do, I will just select this hierarchy, drag it to my columns. I don't need this thing. I will remove it. Then I also remove it. And I want the hierarchy based on population. So my rows will be representing population. So I will add it here. So now you can see I have added my region hierarchy, and here the important thing is that you can see a plus button. So if I click plus, you can see it have added my state too, and within state I can further divide it based on rich or poor, because my third hierarchy is status, which is capturing that the state is poor or rich. I will click that, and now you can see it have added status. Again, I will want to convert columns to rows, rows to columns, so that my graph looks more presentable. I will do it here. So this thing, creating hierarchy will make your graph a bit more dynamic, and it will allow the users to see the information to a level where they want to see. So suppose if I don't want to see till at the level of status, so I will again click this button. So now I'm seeing my population in each state and not giving me information related to status. And suppose if I just want to see the information at the region level only, not at the state level, I will just again click this button, and now I can see my information at a region level. So the good thing about creating hierarchies is that it gives you a bit more control. Another feature in terms of hierarchy is that when it comes to the date variable, the date variable have in Tableau, date variable have their own hierarchies. So if I go back to my data source, I have a one date variable which don't have much in days. So which is starting from the 23rd of June 2019. I think we have just 1 month information till 5th of June 2019. So if I create another sheet now, sheet 3, And suppose I want to see how the population is varying over the date variable. So I will drag that variable in my date variable rows and my population variable in the columns, or I can switch that. So here you can see that when I have added my date variable, which is actually in a date format. So if I go to my data source, you can see this date variable have a data type date. Here you can see. So once you will be dealing with a date variable in Tableau, the Tableau will automatically consider it as a hierarchical variable, and the biggest hierarchy in the date variable is the is the year. And then if I click it, it will add another hierarchy quarter, and if I further click it, it will add another hierarchy month, and then if I further click it, it will create a hierarchy of day. So again, if you are not happy with the format, you can simply click this button. This button is very useful, which converts the swaps the rows and the columns, and now you can see it's more presentable. And so suppose if I want again on a month level, I just have our 2 months data. So this is my 2 months, May and June. In those 2 months, the data looks like this. But if you have a more continuous data, these graphs will look more attractive. And suppose if you want to see just at the quarter level, you can see at the quarter level, and you also can see at the year level. Again, if you want, so the date variable, you don't need to create a hierarchy. The Tableau will automatically create a hierarchy based on year, quarter, month, and then day. Again, you can control it based on these buttons. So in the end, for this video, we have discussed how you can order your columns in Tableau, and then how you can order your columns when you will be dealing with multiple tables in Tableau, and then how you can sort your data set in Tableau. And in the end, we also discuss in detail about how you can create hierarchical variable hierarchies in Tableau, and then how you can swap rows and columns in Tableau. Thank you for watching the video.